Hello. Today I would like to discuss in the field of inquiry of global conflicts. Specifically, I would like to discuss the world global issue of the effects of war on civilians. Let's begin. Looking at the first extract from Banksy, Woman with Fire Extinguisher, we can clearly see the idea that Banksy is trying to show civilians outside of their norm slash like comfort zone. One choice that Banksy made was to include the burning window in relation to the fire extinguisher. The woman actually juxtaposes the fire extinguisher in her hand because she's dressed in a robe. This illustrates the contrast between civilian and wartime objects and circumstances. While the burnt out window and fire extinguisher brings a simile to the whole picture and drawing us back to the global issue of the effects of war on citizens. Also, the inclusion of the chair, one other of Banksy's choices, illustrates how citizens are put outside of their daily lives due to and exaggerates the effect of war on citizens, drawing back to the global issue. Also, the inclusion of rubble exaggerates the damage done to innocent bystanders and physically gives the reader a chance to invoke the brutal disregard for human life due to harsh conditions through war. Next, in another graffiti done by Banksy, titled the Watchtower. Banksy depicts a military watchtower as a kid's amusement ride. Banksy employs juxtaposition to illustrate how the government heavily weighs on children's excitement. This is a pivotal moment in the text as the readers learn the daily lives of how the daily lives of citizens are affecting the livelihood of communities and neighborhoods through the juxtaposition of war. Through the use of juxtaposition of war, the global issue of effects of war on citizens becomes apparent. Another moment when we see the effects of war on citizens is the foundation itself. The foundation is drawn on stone and creates a firm understanding on how Banksy wants you to think about war and where they place buildings. Banksy wants you to believe, or Banksy wants you to see how firm stone structures can be placed in anywhere that affect citizens, such as like heavily civilian populated zones. Some signature moves presented by Banksy are the juxtaposition of kids and wartime objects and materials, such as the tower and the swings for amusement rides. These have no business being the same place and location. That's why it is juxtaposition. Moving on, the next extract we have is solidarity with Ukraine. Banksy depicts a tank stopper as a seesaw commonly found in children's playgrounds. The implications of this moment are in the text are questioning why the kids are on the tank stopper. Banksy employs juxtaposition again to show how the reader's conflicts, or to show the reader how conflicts in cities could limit or harm the safety of civilian populations. Here, the reader understands the severity of the effects, drawing back to the innocence factor that Banksy uses in a lot of his works. In other photos presented in this series, Banksy presents the global issue of the effects of war on civilians. Banksy wants you to understand the idea that the safety and the livelihoods of civilians are being impacted by using innocence through kids and juxtaposing them with wartime materials. Thank you so much for your time.